Hey guys, welcome back to another Afram vlog. Man, it's been a while since I did one of these. Last one I did was when Phase 4 was announced. That was a while ago. So, anyway, let's get right to the subject. Now, I have told this before in one vlog, that I love Batman. And I mean, I love Batman. And yes, I have read these. And today I want to talk about an upcoming movie that I did mention. In a vlog about Comic-Con, that I decided to just make a video about everything that we know about this film and why am I excited, and that is the Batman. Yeah. The upcoming Batman movie that is going to be written and directed by Matt Reeves, set to be released on June 25th, 2021, so that's like 2 years away. Well, if you're watching this in 2020, then it's a year away. Or if you're watching this in 2021, after June, then the film already came out. Or before June, then the movie's about to come out. I don't know why I said like, oh, if you're watching this, then the film is already about to come out. Or actually, if you're just watching this in 2020, then it's coming out in a year. So anyway, I want to talk about how this film got made and about to become to be, because as of recording this, it hasn't started filming yet. Like as of November 15th, which is the day that this video is being filmed, the Batman hasn't started principal photography yet. It only started second unit filming, which is like shots of Gotham City, shot of Arkham Asylum, a shot of Wayne Manor, second unit. Not to get too excited, but it's not to get, at least it's a sign that this film is getting made. So anyway, it's originally set in the DCU. It was supposed to be originally it was going to be set in the DCU with Ben Affleck's Batman, or Batfleck as the internet calls it, everyone calls it. And what do I thought of Ben Affleck's Batman? I thought he was the best Batman that ever was. He was almost perfect. He could have been the best Batman on the big screen. It's just the material he was given was not perfect. Especially the whole Batman kills people. If I were to be responsible for this, I would have just if I were to made Batman be Superman, I would have just easy on the kills. Not too much. He'll kill someone here and there, but not too much. But yeah. And it was like, I heard it say like it's gonna be set in Arkham Asylum, and then maybe like Deathstroke's gonna be the villain. I don't know what the plot of the film was supposed to be, but anyway, it was supposed to be directed by Ben Affleck, but he left the directing chair just to focus on the acting, and then later on he quit the role entirely, which upset many fans. I wasn't that too all surprised since he was almost perfect, but just not there. Not up there with Michael Keaton's Batman, which is still my favorite Batman. And after that, so yeah, after that whole thing, when Ben Affleck left the directing chair, he was replaced by Matt Reeves, who directed Cloverfield, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War of the Planet of the Apes. That means, and those are good movies, so I trust him. I really trust him. So, and then when Ben Affleck left the role, ultimately there's a bunch of changes made. I decided to just make his own Batman film. And then I think it's been through like a bunch of rewrites, which so what we know about this film is it's gonna take inspiration from The Long Halloween, and that ultimately got me interested. I was like, ooh, really? Ooh, that's nice. That it is a good, like, The Long Halloween. It's like top tier Batman comic, up there with Year One, The Dark Knight Returns, and so on, and The Killing Joke, and Hush, and Arkham Asylum. And I really should recommend. And also, I thought this has been misunderstood. Like this, The Man Who Laughs, which was which is a comic where Batman gets introduced to the Joker. Yeah. If you're getting started with Batman comics, start with Year One, and I would recommend after that, The Man Who Laughs. That's my recommendation of how to, and then after that, you go to The Long Halloween. Now the story is pretty long, spanning like different months and holidays and that. But hearing that he's going to take inspiration from The Long Halloween, written by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. In fact, speaking of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, how about this recently? It's from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. I was trying to find The Long Halloween, but I couldn't find it. So I settled with Superman for All Seasons. Yeah, I like Superman as well. I thought I want to get started with reading Superman comics. So I bought this, and I was like, I made a good choice. And with this, I'm thinking of also getting the Man of Steel comics Volume 1, the 1986 post-crisis Superman story, and also the Superman for All Seasons. Yeah. And maybe some others like Brainiac and or I'm getting started reading Superman comics, so don't judge me in the comments. Like, did I say comics? Don't judge me in the comments on what to do when reading Superman comics. So anyway, the number one thing that really catches my attention, the one thing that really gets me excited for this film, is that this is going to be a noir-driven detective film. It's a noir-driven detective story, and I was like, yes, fuck yeah. Make that, finally, they're going to make Batman what he was in the comics, the world's greatest detective. Yeah. So yeah, that ultimately got me really excited. So sure, the Dark Knight trilogy is a little bit of that, but never like, and even the Burton films, but never the main focus in a Batman film being the world, having it being a detective story, focusing on Batman as the world's greatest detective. Like, that ultimately got me pumped. Yeah, this mainly the first time it's not the first time, as I said, it's not the first time it uses detective elements in a Batman film, but it's the first time that it's the main focus in a Batman film. Batman being a detective as the main focus. So yeah, Matt Reeves, I have a lot of trust in Matt Reeves. Now I'm gonna go on with the casting. The casting for this film is just French kiss. Perfect. Perfect casting. Almost as perfect as I'd say literally as perfect as the Dark Knight trilogy, which has some really good casting. But this is just perfect. It's just casting announcement after casting announcement. Casting announcement was just perfect. It's just brilliant. So let's start off with our Batman, our Bruce Wayne, being played by, yes, you already know, Robert Pattinson, who played the sparkling vampire Edward Cullen in the Twilight films. Now, as everyone already knows, as we all know, we hate Twilight. I do too. My mom is a huge fan of Twilight. And I couldn't get away from going to a room and then seeing what's mom watching on TV. Fucking Twilight. And yeah. I always have a strong hate for this film, and then sure, everyone hates on Robert Pattinson, but then he started getting into starring in some indie films, and that's where he really developed as an actor. Sure, Harry Potter and Twilight gave him success, but those indie films like High Life, Cosmopolis, or Good Time, and even his most recent, as of this year, 2019, The Lighthouse and The King. He really developed as an actor from these films. And when I found out he's been cast as Batman, I was like, oh, not bad. I actually like that. It was really good. That's really good casting. Yeah, that actually looks good. And a lot of people were upset about it, and I called these people, and I compared them, and I was like, when people were complaining about Robert Pattinson being cast as Batman, I was like, you people are acting like the same people who criticized Michael Keaton when he was cast as Batman. As you know, when Michael Keaton was announced, people were really upset. Like, Michael Keaton, before Batman, he was only known for comedy roles like Mr. Mom and Beetlejuice. And then the film came out, and everyone was blown away by his performance. Same with Ben Affleck when he was cast as Batman, and now people are starting to vote of love. Again, he's not my favorite Batman. Michael Keaton's still up there. And yeah, anyway, I think he'll be a great Batman. I just know it. Anyway, next casting, we also gonna have Catwoman, Selena Kyle. She's gonna be played by Zoe Kravitz, who is the daughter of rock star Lenny Kravitz. And interesting fact that I didn't even know, she is the stepdaughter of Jason Momoa, aka Aquaman. Yeah, Jason Momoa plays Aquaman. She's the stepfather of Zoe Kravitz since he married her mom. I was like, oh, that's an interesting fact. And even it said even when the casting was done, he took to Instagram to congratulate her on getting the part. He's like, "Stepdaddy is so proud." I almost said "Daddy's so proud," but no. His real dad is Lenny. Jason is the stepdad. Anyway, It's not the first time she played Catwoman. She actually voiced the character in the Lego Batman movie. And I was like, oh, okay, then at least I know what she's gonna be like. And it's not the first time she's been in a comic book movie. She's been in X-Men, First Class, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and as Mary Jane. Is there any others? Yeah, she's also been in movies like Mad Max and the Fantastic Beasts film. One of them, or is it both? I think it was just one of them. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Please don't judge me. That's just my opinion. I've just never got into it. Never read the books. Never seen the movies. Just don't bash me. And I don't want any Hufflepuffs or whatever just bashing me in the comments. Just please, respect someone's comment. Anyway, here's my favorite casting of this movie. The Riddler. Paul Dano is playing the Riddler. When I found this out, I was like, perfect. This is the most perfect casting. Oh my god, it almost like brings me to tears. I was like, oh my god, I love this guy. I love Paul Dano. He's such a fantastic actor. Seriously, if you haven't heard of him, please go watch There'll Be Blood, 12 Years a Slave, Prisoners, Looper. And one of my favorite performances from him when he played a young Brian Wilson in the Brian Wilson biopic, Love and Mercy. It's a really great film. One of the many great music biopics that were made. Like Paul Dano, he's like a really great actor. Seriously, go watch those movies. If you're not that convinced, please just go watch them. I feel like he does have the acting style to play the Riddler. Yeah, I'm just hoping I know we're going to see a much darker take on the Riddler, much like the Arkham games, and as did with the character. I just wanted a more darker take on the Riddler. I never liked Jim Carrey as the Riddler. It's just Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey while dressed up as the Riddler. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my opinion on Jim Carrey's Riddler. And Frank Gorshin, yeah, he's more. At least he gave more. At least he's being the Riddler and not. At least he's just being the Riddler. And besides Jim Carrey, who's just being Jim Carrey. And yeah, Paul Dano as the Riddler, perfect casting, like favorite casting. And then we go on to our Commissioner Gordon, Jeffrey Wright. I'm impressed. This is actually the first time that Jim Gordon is being portrayed as a black character, as an African American. Now, from this casting, I can tell that this will not be set in the DCU because the DCU's Jim Gordon was played by J.K. Simmons. You might know him for his best performance in comic book movies as J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Like, whenever you think of J. Jonah Jameson, you think of J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Like, this man was born to play J. Jonah Jameson. Anyway, like, he played Commissioner Gordon in the DCU, in Justice League. And I'm glad that he managed to play J. Jonah Jameson again in Spider-Man Homecoming. I was like really happy about that. Like when I saw him when watching Far From Home, my jaw dropped. Like literally my jaw dropped. Anyway, so Jeffrey Wright, he's a really good actor. He's been in some of the James Bond films, the ones with Daniel Craig. He also been in, I think was it some of the Hunger Games films? And he also was in the TV show Westworld, which was based on the movie from the 70s or 60s, 70s. Yeah. And as I said in a vlog, he is also set to voice Uatu, aka the Watcher, in the first Marvel Studios MCU animated show on Disney Plus, What If, where they just take a film and just make one change. Asking like, what if this character became this character, or what if this became that and that? What if this was set in this and all that? Yeah, Marvel has its what if, DC has their Elseworlds, which is, they can be creative with their Elseworlds. Anyways, I've seen some of his work. I think he's going to do a really good job. I think he's going to do a good job as Commissioner Gordon. And then next casting is Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce's butler. He's being played by Andy Serkis. When I first heard that he was in talks to play Alfred, I was thinking he's probably going to pass on that, since he is signed on to direct Venom 2, which is currently filming right now as I'm making of this video. Yeah, and I feel like he's going to do a good job. I would have thought of something like Ralph Fiennes. Funny, since he also voiced the character in the Lego Batman movie, so literally all I'm thinking was just like Batman. Like whenever I think of Batman cast, I was like thinking of like the Lego Batman movie. Which I'm not saying it's a bad Batman movie. It's a really good movie. Anyway, we also get to our third casting. John Turturro. You might know him from the Transformers films. He is set to play mob boss of Gotham City, Carmine Falcone. Yeah, meaning just from that, you know that this is going to be the Long Halloween. Now, we know that the Dark Knight trilogy, I think it's either Batman Begins or The Dark Knight, or maybe both, took inspiration from the Long Halloween, mainly introducing Carmine Falcone into the big screen. And you probably noticed, yeah, having the character of Carmine Falcone, and also with the lines of dialogue from the Long Halloween, the I Believe in Harvey Dent, which became Harvey Dent's campaign slogan when running for district attorney. Yeah, I'm just saying that the Dark Knight also took his inspiration from the Long Halloween, but this is just a really straight on. Since it's going to be a real straight on inspiration, or more of a loose adaptation of the Long Halloween. And I'm interested in seeing what he does with this role. I've seen him in other movies besides, I hate those Transformers movies, but I've seen him in other movies that made me feel more convinced. Especially Do the Right Thing and one of the Coen Brothers movies, because it's one of those Coen Brothers films. Like, he's been in good movies as well. And I feel like convinced that he could play a mob boss. Anyway, there's like 2 more castings, but I ran out of room, so the most recent casting was Peter's, at least from Matt Reeves' Twitter account, which is Peter Sarsgaard in an undisclosed role. We don't even know who he's gonna play. A lot of people make guesses like, oh, he might play Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, or the Calendar Man, or Hugo Strange. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'd just rather wait till when the film comes out to know what he's gonna play. Knowing that Matt Reeves announced the casting on his Twitter account, meaning that he has a really good role, big role. He only has whenever he announces a casting, he would just say like which character he plays. For Bill Skarsgård, it's gonna say, it just says, "Oh, hi, Peter." It's like, that's it. We don't even know who he's gonna play. So yeah, the casting has been perfect. Now, this is not the first time Peter Sarsgaard has been in a comic book film. He has played Dr. Hammond in the 2011 Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern film. Yeah. Probably thinking, you're not convinced. Remember, Mark Strong, who plays Sinestro, played Dr. Savannah in Shazam. So, you should give him some trust. You should really trust him you should give him a second chance just like you did with Mark Strong. Give him a second chance. Just give him a second chance. Anyways, let's go on to some rumors and other stuff. Now, the Batman film is said to be rumored to have up to either from 4 to 6 villains in a Batman film. The only ones that have been confirmed are Catwoman, the Riddler, the Penguin, and Two-Face. The 2 rumored villains are Firefly and the Mad Hatter. Now you're probably thinking, I was like, jeez, it's way too many villains. You know what the Spider-Man 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 did for having too many villains? I'm just like, I get that. But yet again, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 only has 2 villains. Rhino just shows up at the end. That's it. He's not one of the main villains. Mainly, I feel more interested in what I said with the confirmed villains. I want those to be like those villains that we will get to see. Especially since we heard that there's going to be scenes in Arkham Asylum. Meaning that there'll probably be more of Batman's Rogues Gallery. And that maybe also include Firefly and Mad Hatter. And maybe like appearances from Scarecrow or Hugo Strange. Or Mr. Freeze. Or Poison Ivy. Like, any of these villains. Or even Clayface. If they can try. So, yeah. Depends if you have too many villains. Depends on the screen time those villains have. Anyway, there's this tweet from Thomas Polito, which is an update on the Batman, the movie. And I'm just going to read this out. So, I hear the movie is going to play out very much like a Sherlock Holmes story, with Catwoman as Batman's Irene Adler, and the Riddler as his Moriarty. Reeves is also building a world similar to the animated shows and comics where all the villains are already out there. And I was like, oh, yeah, things are getting a lot juicier. Being played out like a Sherlock Holmes really interests me. Now you can't have a Sherlock Holmes story without having a Watson. So who knows if Commissioner Gordon is the Watson of this film? And if the Riddler is going to be the main villain, I'm okay with I'm okay with that. I would love to see a more different take on the Riddler, because the Riddler is really smart. Like, he's more about setting puzzles and tricks, setting up puzzles for Batman to solve. Now it's all about setting riddles. Like I said, the film is a detective film story. Batman being the world's greatest detective. If you're going to have Batman be the world's greatest detective, you need to find the perfect villain to really rival that of Batman in order of intelligence. And the Riddler is perfect for that. I don't want a flashy, flamboyant Riddler. I want a more sinister take, a more intelligent, evil, mastermind take on the Riddler. And yeah. It's interesting. So, and there's also other rumors and even stuff about casting. Jonah Hill was approached to play the Penguin. He was actually approached to play two villains, either the Penguin or the Riddler. But Jonah Hill wanted to be paid $10 million for the role. So Warner Brothers decided to just let him go. And Colin Farrell he's in talks to play the Penguin. He's not been, despite what other news sources say, he's not cast as the Penguin. If Matt Reeves announced it on Twitter, then he is going. We don't know if it's going to be true. He's still in talks. We only have to wait until Matt Reeves takes to Twitter, posts a GIF of Colin Farrell with saying that he is the Penguin. Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. That means he is confirmed to be in the film. But still being in talks, or meaning that he's not in the film. Anyway, I also said there's like other person that was cast in this film, but I didn't have any room to write this down. That is a newcomer, Jamie Lawson. I mean, new to the acting. Now, she's new. I mean, she just graduated from Juilliard. And she has been cast in the Batman. She is cast in a undisclosed role. I think reports say that she's playing a politician in Gotham City. But that doesn't stop people from making rumors saying that he actually is going to be playing Batgirl. She's actually going to be playing Barbara Gordon, who takes the mantle of Batgirl. I was like, I'd rather just wait till the film comes out. Because I'm not that interested in the whole Batgirl thing. I'm not sexist. I'm just thought it would be a little too goofy in taste. And there's like more rumors and stuff. So like I said, with the rumors of Batgirl, there's also rumors that Robin will be in this film. I would say, maybe, but maybe he'll show up in the second. Now, he said that. Now, there's reports that this Matt Reeves' Batman film will also go on to be a trilogy. He has signed on for it to be a trilogy. So, I would say if it is going to be a trilogy, I would say put Robin in the second film. Because we want a perfect Robin. Robin has never given the love he deserves on the big screen. Even the Tim Burton films, Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy, never had a Robin. Well, especially if The Dark Knight Rises with Jason Gordon-Levitt's character being nicknamed Robin, that doesn't count. But we want Robin to have justice on the big screen. And if I were to think of someone who should play Robin, I was thinking maybe like Timothée Chalamet. Now, he's one of the greatest young actors that it's in the scene. He's been in great movie after great. Talking about Call Me by Your Name, The King, and he's been in like really, really great movies. And speaking of like The King, like Robert Pattinson, it is also in this movie. I was thinking, yeah, it would be kind of nice to see the two. Yeah. But I would love to see, yeah, it has like a nice little fan cast. I would love to see Timothée Chalamet as Dick Grayson, the Robin. As Dick Grayson, aka Robin. Yeah, no, Dick Grayson is the first person to take the mantle of the Robin. And then there's Jason Todd, and then Tim Drake, who's my favorite Robin. Because he's more smarter than the other Robins. He's almost like the better detective than Bruce is. And there's also news and rumors on the Batsuit. Now, Ben Affleck's suit in the DCU is almost the perfect Batman suit. I was like, finally, a gray and black Batman suit. That's all I really wanted to see. As much as I love Michael Keaton's Batman outfit, I hate the idea of an all-black Batman costume. I also hate the idea of a tactical Batman costume. Like, I love Ben Affleck's costume, but I would make a few changes. Especially make the ears and the cowl a few inches bigger. Really somewhat like this. And instead of like the big ass logo, just make like your usual Bat logo. At least if I were to put in a Batman suit, I would put the yellow oval with the bat symbol, like what you see with the bat symbol. That's what I want to see in a bat suit. And also the texture on the suit, I'm not that huge of a fan of. Like, I know it's supposed to be worn. He's more Ben Affleck's Batman is more experienced. But I just want a simple black and gray Batman costume. Let's see if I can find a good example of this. And then where is it? almost something like what they, as I'm trying to say, like what's something to Batman Year One. Yeah, something like this, yeah, like that, right there, right there. Since it's gonna be like a more experienced Batman, that's what I would love to see. He's not that much of an experience. He's starting up. It's not gonna be your origin story. He's not that experienced. The Robert Pattinson Batman is not an experienced Batman. He's like fitting his way through the detective side of Gotham City. And there's rumor that the Batsuit will be blue and gray, much like the usual goofy Batman comics of the early days. I'm just like, if you're gonna make the blue a navy blue, a dark navy blue, I wouldn't mind. But I would just prefer more of a black and gray Batman outfit. And I also heard that his Batman voice will be inspired by Willem Dafoe's voice, who is his co-star in his most recent film, The Lighthouse. And at least we're turning away from the usual deep voice Batman, like in Dark Knight. Where is she? Where are they? That Batman voice. But anyway, that's all I got to say. I'm really excited for this film. I know that as of now, it's doing like second unit filming, which is like a shot of Gotham City, a shot of Arkham Asylum, a shot of Wayne Manor, and principal photography, which is the main filming of the film, won't happen until January next year, which is like, or just say next month, which is as of filming this, it's December. And we're heading to the new year, the end of the decade. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like on that video. Comment down below. Are you excited for the new Batman movie? And comment down below, what would you like to see in this film? Anyways, click on that subscribe button. Hit on that notification bell. And in the link below, go follow me on Twitter if you like movies. It's like if you want to hear more from me, then you should follow my Twitter account. It's down below. Anyways, I will see you on the other side.